much apologies for the louder noises. It is a windy day, and I still haven't been able to find a microphone that will work in these conditions. Yeah, apparently car noise is just the hardest thing ever. At least for the way I have it set up now. If I get more fancy about it, I can put this into a program and you don't have to hear any of this again. But we'll see if that ever happens. But for now, the drama, the news just keeps going places when it comes to magic. Oh, where are you going? Are you okay? Okay, buddy. He was trying to turn left when there was literally nowhere to turn. Anyway. So this was very unexpected, right? I did not see that coming, and I probably maybe should have. The RC just calling it quits and packing up and leaving. And there's, again, so much to talk about. And I guess I could start with what they said, which was due to the harassment that they were all going to resign and just throw it to WOTC and say peace and head out. So that's the reason they gave. And I guess it's a reason. And it was also something to, like, just something that irks me a little bit is when the person I'm talking to or who I'm watching or something is assuming I'm stupid. I mean, it's fair. Most people are dumb in a way. So I'm not, like, completely shocked or anything. But when, like, everybody who's talking about this is, oh, sorry, that's a little loud. Who talks about this is like, okay, everyone, you know, I know we're upset, but threatening people isn't okay, all right? Like, you should never be threatening people. And yeah. Do people really need to hear this? Like, is that just a mystery? Is someone going to be like, oh, you're right, I shouldn't do that? Or is that really what's going on? Is that really what's happening? Are you assuming most of your viewers are going to be doing something like that? And of course, I just put it out there to the people that do or did do that by you saying, you shouldn't do that. Is that really going to change their minds? Is that really going to stop them? Like I guess it's this weird thing with me and formalities. It's like, when I go into work, I don't say hi. Like, I don't say good morning every morning because there's a pretty high chance I'm going to see you tomorrow and the day after that and the week after that and the month after that. Like, I don't know. Like, sometimes I will. But I just, like, is there really a point? I don't understand it. So this whole, like, okay, everyone, make sure you're not doing any death threats today. Like, just make sure. People don't like that. It's very mean. I get it. I mean, what they're saying is true. I agree with it. It's just one of those things where does it really need to be said? And, of course, you're going to sit there saying, well, people did it, so maybe, of course, it needed to be said. And maybe you're right. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe some people really needed to just, like, they were just way too heated and they didn't take the time to stop and go like, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. Okay, maybe you got me there. All right, fine. Maybe this was necessary. But just in my opinion, it seems a bit much when you're telling people who watch you to not be giant assholes, I guess. Like, geez. But anyway, so even though, and again, even though everyone said that, the RC is still leaving, and the reason is because of the harassment. Wow, we did it, guys. We solved it. And of course, on that note being the reason why they left, I can sympathize wholeheartedly. I can empathize, and I can, to an extent, understand if I was just a person of the committee who has a social presence, who takes time out of my day to talk with people, to make big decisions about something that we all, and I guess theoretically, enjoy, and millions of people across the world do. Like, that's quite the responsibility, not gonna lie. That is kind of a lot. And whether you make a decision which you have thought through and like made the best decision that you believed was possible, there's like, and even if most people agreed with it, there would still be blowback by some people. Not everyone's going to agree. There are always going to be people upset, whether it was good for the betterment or worsement of the format. Like, that's just, it happens, and that's part of social media. And I'm assuming most people on that panel are used to that kind of thing, like are used to dumb people reaching out, saying, you know, absolutely mean things, and you just kind of have to be a duck and let it roll off your back, man. But to be fair, the harassment they got last week was probably, I'm just going to assume, a lot worse than what they've dealt with before. So it was probably a huge, major shock to most of them, which is where I could see them going, you know, I'm not doing this no more. They're not getting paid or anything. They're just like, this isn't worth it. I'm not going to deal with that. So, you know, fair to them. That's, you know, they should have the right to pack up and leave whenever they want. But the little cynical part of my brain has to say, like, the chance of them making, I would say, a mistake, a pretty big mistake, a couple of big mistakes, all in a row. I mean, there's a chance of colossally failing when you do stuff like this. And so, when the blowback happens and stuff gets like crazy and people go nuts, I think you just you'd brace yourself for that impact, don't you think? Like, hey, this could be a really bad choice, so in case it is, you know, I'm just going to be ready for it and, you know, weather the tides and stuff like that. But I guess it was just too much. Again, I'm assuming, I just assume that people take logical steps in their thinking and understanding when they do think, when they sign up for stuff, that they have at least a general idea of what's going on, that these are adults, they're not kids, you know. And I'm assuming that they're smart and intelligent and would know that something like this could happen, and it did. So while I guess, and I don't mean to be rude, but in a way it's a weak out. It's a weak reason to say, oh, we just got harassed too much. Not to say that can't happen, but as for a reason to leave the RC, or hey, what you could have done is like, hey, a couple of the members of the RC kind of want to not be in the member, like keep the committee around if you really find value in it. Just get different people. I don't know, get Josh Lee Kwai in there or something. I don't know. Get some people who are willing to pick up the mantle again. So to completely just like, we're done, bye, just shut it down, I think is a little selfish. Again, they have every right to leave whenever they want and for whatever reason. They should just get up one day, have buttered toast and the butter fell on the floor, butter side down, and just be like, I don't want to be in the rules committee anymore. Like, that's fine. Don't. You should never be forced to do it. But secede it to someone else. You know, don't secede it to WOTC. This is a mistake built from a mistake. Like, they made a mistake, whether it's how they announced the bannings, how many bannings they announced, and what they banned. All I consider mistakes just one huge conglomerate. But now they're just making another huge mistake. So, but, yeah, so now we're here. Now we're in this timeline. This is what's happening now. Like, going back seas, we all know it happening. And I guess that's the other huge, big, colossal reason why this is a mistake problem, is that now WOTC has control over the bands. And I know they do with their other formats. I know. But Commander being their biggest cash cow, and it being a casual format, and then the dumb thing that they're trying to pull now. Oh my God. So yeah, the few people I got to watch and listen to last night, because this announcement came out while I was working at the shop, so I had no time. Bro, we've got so much to inventory. It's nuts. So I'm gonna be busy today too. I won't be able to have time to look up any more stuff until tomorrow when I'm working at my other job. But the little I got to see today is basically, I guess the only thing everyone agreed with is that the RC will never come again. The Rules Committee will never be a thing ever again. WOTC will keep control of this group forever, and they will never give it up for any reason ever. Like, that is the one thing everyone knows is true, which I believe is a bad thing. Even though I disagreed with the Rules Committee, I did not like their visions for a future for Commander. I did not agree with their bannings. And yeah, so like, I didn't agree with anything they did, including dismantling it. I would much rather there be a Rules Committee made out of people who don't work for WOTC than, WOTC. Now, to be understanding of the exact situation, it is not like the Rules Committee was this standing steel guardian keeping Commander in line, putting WOTC in their place and getting rid of all the problems. No, they were not. You know what they were? They were a damn paper dragon. They would roar and scream and rah, but really WOTC just feigned being scared of them. WOTC feigned giving a crap about them. Like, I know that's true. Everyone knows that's true. Otherwise, Dockside, Jude Lotus, all of that would have been banned long ago. Long ago. We know that. If the Rules Committee had any actual teeth, that's what would happen. So, with that understanding that they did not pose much of a threat at all to WOTC, who basically just had to pretend that they did, I would still rather have them around, even if they're just a front man, even if they're just taking heat for WOTC's decisions that are being spewed through them. Even if that's the case, I don't know. I would still prefer it. I don't know. Maybe it's less honest of me. I'd like to pretend that they did something rather than knowing they don't. Maybe that's a flaw of my own. I don't know. Maybe I need to think about it some more too, possibly. But yeah, I'm not kidding myself when I'm saying, like, I know the Rules Committee didn't actually have much power, but I'd still prefer for them to be around. Okay? So knowing that, and now that it's gone, people are saying, some people were like, well, with the Rules Committee's gone, now they're just WOTC's gonna print everything. They're never gonna ban ever, and it's gonna be so bad. Commander's gonna get so bad. It's gonna be so worse, man. They're gonna ban all kinds of stuff. Like, it's gonna be nuts. Interesting. And then there's other people who are like, well, WOTC was basically in control anyway. The Rules Committee didn't do much. So this, while on paper a lot has changed, in actuality nothing has really changed. And they were just kind of, nihilistic about it. So, and I don't think a single person out there truly believes that this is like WOTC is gonna be careful with what they print and make sure to play test it, and I'm sure nobody out there really believes that. So that is an opinion, but no one holds it for sure. So basically there's both parties, or all parties, whatever. No, WOTC's in full control now, at least on record they are. And some people were like, that's fine, whatever. And then other people were like, this is terrible. And this is where it's weird. Like, I have my contradicting thoughts, or opinions rather. Contradicting opinions. I want the RC to be around. But number two, I'm glad WOTC now has the power to unban everything. I am actually happy about them unbanning. If they do, maybe they don't, but if they start unbanning cards, even the recent ones, I don't care. I want everything unbanned. That is me. So, like, I don't know. So, in a way, if I was, speaking to the universe, I want some cards unbanned, please. This is how it answered it, by killing the RC and giving it over to WOTC. So I'm like, this is a weird fence to sit on, man. I don't know which way to go. But again, it is what it is now. I can't really change it. So if WOTC starts unbanning cards, awesome, great. I'm ready for it, man. And if they start printing higher powered stuff, you know what? They were going to do it anyway. Nothing was going to change with that. So, So, what does that mean for Commander in the future? I guess it's going to get more nuts. It's going to get more chaotic. There's going to be more chase cards for sure. There's going to be Jeweled Lotus, J-Lo 2.0. New booty. I guess so. It's becoming, and then now that they're in charge of the rules, is it official format now? That's a good question, because WOTC's making the rules. It's no longer completely community driven. It is now 100% corporate. This is now a corporate format, corporate casual. It's the button down shirt, maybe a tie. That's what it's now. No more wearing jeans into the office. Yeah. It's kind of nuts. It's kind of crazy. Oh, I can go faster. Yes, and of course, so like people are just going absolutely nuts, absolutely crazy. And I guess another bad point is this does take away the competitive Commander CEDH people's petitions or whatever to make their own rules committee. So that's a pretty big drag. I'll be with them there. Like, that's kind of oof. Because I was hoping for that, man. I was. But okay. So we've gone through the rules committee, why they left. WOTC now has it. And WOTC Hatcher from Magic Historian was like, they wanted this from the start, man. Like, if you want to get conspiratorial, they wanted this to happen. They were planning for this to happen, which is the RC stepping down. Like, they were ready. And I guess, if they were controlling the shots anyway, to me it would just be like, oh, now they don't have to pretend no more like the RC has any power. One less step, I guess. And as far as how much attention, like how much money they're actually going to pour and time and effort they're going to pour into the rules or banning and stuff, who knows, bro? Do they need to put anything into it? I don't know. Possibly. Again, If they don't need to, they're going to feign that they do, because people are going to ask. And if they figure out they think they need to, then it's up to them, But the way they've been squeezing, their profit margins, sure. I'm surprised they even pay someone to clean their toilets. They don't just get Jane from accounting. Poor Jane. They had no chance. They are now stuck in toilet cleaning and cooking the books for Hasbro. Oy. So yeah, Hatcher had a funny thoughts about that for sure. But now they were exposing more about what the RC and WOTC were talking about, quote unquote, for the new power level thing or whatever. And it's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's totally gonna work out, because the power level thing, quote unquote, that we have now is, everyone's a 7. Everything's a 7. Great. So that didn't work. You know what we need to do? We need to take out more numbers. We need to make them closer. So now everyone's a deck is a 3 or a 2. No one is a 1. No one is a 4. Even though, like, in their example, it's hilarious. They said if you had, like, Ancient Tomb in your deck. So you could have, this is how they worded it. I'm sure they're going to be more explanatory, but it is fun to meme on it. That I could have a deck of any commander. I don't know, Norin or something, like, pick a commander. 98 lands in an Ancient Tomb, and it is a tier 4 deck. Because that one card is in it. Really, WOTC? Really? Is that how we're doing it? So it's like, it's hilarious. It is just so stupid. And it's like, okay, but this card is a basic bitch card. It's only tier 1. So if you have one in your deck, it's fine. Oh, is that a single mana exile a creature? Yeah, that's so jank, man. That has no power whatsoever, bro. That is just crap. Tier 1. Get it out of here. Don't need it at all. Oh my god. So some of the best removal ever tier 1. Gross. Oh, this land taps for 2 mana. 4 S tier. Cracked. Can't beat it. And then of course, just like the rules committee, as soon as you start talking about powerful cards and which one is which, the instant thing that pops into people's heads is, okay, so what is Soul Ring? Oh, it's a tier 1, you say? Even though it taps for 2 mana? It's mana positive? But oh no, it's a tier 1. It's a boo-boo card. It's dumb. It's lame. And it's like, gosh, are you going to list all the 100,000s of cards that are in Magic's history and put them on this stupid list? And if you happen to have one in a single tier that's higher than the rest of them, your deck is now that tier? Oh my god. Not a good system. Not a good system. Who the hell is thinking of this system? We need their names and phone numbers so we can send them death threats, guys. Then maybe WOTC will step down. Let's do it. Oh my god. Oh shit. Okay, sorry. And for anyone who can't understand sarcasm, I suggest you stop watching YouTube. Yes, I am a meanie pants. No, I'm just a glorious meme lord. That's all. So yeah, that tier system, absolute poo-poo. Absolute poo-poo. And like, everyone has their, like, someone I was watching had their whole, let's run games and do calculations on which cards are in the winning decks more. I mean, it's a theory. I don't think it's particularly good, especially with all of the testing you have to. I just don't think that's a good one either. And I understand, like, it's difficult to think of a system that would work. Think of that would make everyone happy. And basically what we're talking about when it comes to power levels is the rule 0. This is the connection I wish people would put into it, which I think some people do, which is rule 0. Excuse me. Rule 0 is when people talk about power levels. So when decks have power levels at all, it's basically only for rule 0, which, it's only for when you're with groups of people whom you don't know, and need to establish, like, okay, what kind of game we're playing, what kind of decks we're playing. That's what rule 0 is for. It is not for when you're with your friends and you kind of say, just, oh, how are we feeling today? Like, maybe it is for your friend. I don't know, but generally it's just for, I don't know you, you don't know me, but let's try to play together eventually. Let's see if I can pass him. How fast is he going? Damn. Sorry, I have to focus on the road for just a second. He is going that fast. Fine, whatever. I'll stay behind him. I'll stay behind him. Sorry. Okay. So that's what rule 0 is for, essentially. So we need to talk about rule 0. How should people talk about rule 0? How should people talk about their decks? So there's 2 things that we need to discuss when it comes to rule 0. It is what kind of game we're looking to play, and do you have a deck that would qualify for that? And that's kind of it. I mean, some people demand, like, hey, you need to tell me how your deck works or how it wins. Maybe. I don't know if that's huge, but maybe. But those are the 2 things you have to understand when you sit down to play, again, with, I guess, anyone, but it's more stricter for strangers. Because when you start to know people, you start to know their decks, and you see them pull out a deck, and you be like, oh, that deck, and then you can, adjust accordingly. And then, of course, it has to be like, okay, hey, we want to be more competitive this game. And someone can be like, hey, I only have like 1 or 2 decks and neither of them competitive. Then that can be discussed and led to something else. So it's like, so, they only have 1. So how about we do, well, so what are your decks? Oh, mine's more casual. Okay, let's all just play casual. Then we can all play. Or it could be like, actually, we kind of really wanted to do competitive. Hey, they have a spare deck that's actually really competitive. You want to use that instead? Like, that's when you can figure out, okay, are we trying to make the game work so everyone can play? Or are we trying to make sure everyone's playing what they want to play? Like, are there a lot of people and the other person can just find another pod? Like, then that's when it starts to be a discussion and it branches out. Okay? But the main thing is what kind of game we want to play. And then, of course, just the secondary, do you have a deck that can do that? And then branching stuff from there. But those are just the 2 questions. 2 questions for rule 0. Yeah, so, excuse me. And I think, so to me, it's like, okay, maybe someone doesn't understand what casual is because casual to them is different. Maybe someone doesn't understand what competitive is because maybe it's not CEDH, it's just really strong. I get it. I understand there's a lot of minutia when it comes to who considers what. I get it. I understand. But it's just a general feel. Casual is going to be, we're going to do some funny stuff. We're not going to be, maybe you do play Moxes and stuff, but all you do is to attach it to a giant creature who will then swing into one person, like, maybe, I don't know, or it'll just be something that you can, I don't know. But the whole point is, like, we're here to have silly fun, is casual. And then you can be regular commander, which is like, hey, like a pre-con, hey, a little more than a pre-con. Like, I'm here to win for sure, but it's not tuned. You know, I'm here to not just like F around, like pure casual, just have fun. Just normal game of commander. And then competitive, which is, it can be CEDH level, like you're winning by turn 3, or just, hey, this is a very tuned deck that's a bit higher than normal casual would be. And of course, it's all speculation. Some people are going to be way off. That's fine. And I think that's the best way to look at it. It's simple. It's easy. You don't need points. You don't need numbers, which again are all, you know, opinionated anyway. Like, it's not any more specific with a number. What does a 7 mean? What does a 4 mean? What does a 1 mean? You know. No, it's just, yeah. So that doesn't work. Why not go with more descriptive, like labeling, names? At least that's more accurate than a number, okay? And then the other thing people complain about is like, well, what if this person just sits down and they're like, yeah, it's a casual, like, oh, okay, this is a really weak deck, okay, guys, like, this deck does nothing, and then they win, like, instantly out of nowhere. Well, obviously that person was bullshitting you. They were fucking lying. But, and then people are like, well, what happened? But it ruined the game. He was just a jerk, or they were just a jerk. You know what you do? Okay, oh, sweet, you won, awesome. You want to play again? Do you have another deck? Do you have an actual casual deck? Like something a little lower powered? And if, you know, I usually, you know, 3 rules strike for me. If they say, yeah, this is my actual casual one, then let's see, if I was personally in this situation, I'd be like, hey, can I see your deck real quick? I just want to check the cards. I just want to see. And of course, if A, they don't let you, then okay, maybe you should go somewhere else, play with someone else. Or if, you know, B, it is casual and they were just maybe messing with you the first time, okay, play. But basically the thing is, if someone's going to come and lie to you because you're strangers and then they're gone, you can't avoid that. I'm sorry, you can't avoid it. And trying to say you have to look at everyone's deck in order to make sure that every single game you play is always equal and fair, then I don't want to play with you. You're the kind of person I don't want to play with. I'm sorry. Fairness is a goal that's just like perfection, forever to be chased but never to be awarded. Like, you're never going to get to complete fairness. It ain't going to happen. But you do the best. You do the best you can. So if some person sits down and they just lie, and then you try them again, either a later day or something, and they just lie again, then guess what you do? You don't play with that person. If they're just going to lie, if they're just going to mess with you, they're not going to try to play fair, play nice, whatever. Just go, hey man, I don't want to play. And you don't have to be like, you can't play here. I mean, you can, but I wouldn't. I would just be like, hey guys, yeah, when I played with them last time, they said they had a casual deck and like they completely blew us out of the water. We tried again and they did the same thing. So like, if you want to play with him or whatever, that's fine. I'm just gonna not play. Or you can just say, hey, I just don't want to play this round. I'm gonna find another pod. You be real. You don't gotta explain yourself. This you aren't under oath. This ain't a job. At least I don't think so. So yeah, you're welcome to get up and go and do whatever. You don't need a reason. Just go, oh, I know that person was not fun to play with. I'm not going to play with that person. Bye. Just get up and say bye. Get up and say nothing. I don't care. You got your reasons. I don't need to hear them. So that is how you avoid people like that. And theoretically, in a realm where things made sense and people thought logically, that person would go, oh, people don't want to play with me anymore. Why is that? And then if they're lucky enough to hear the criticism, oh, they said that I lied about playing. If I want to play with people, then maybe I should not lie. Maybe I should be honest when I play with people and tell them the power level of my decks, or I should play the decks that they ask me to, and then maybe I will play more, and then I will be able to play the game. In a world where people made sense. Best Twilight series. But of course, yeah, probably not. And usually if someone's like that, if they're just... Now, if they mess with you like on a goofy level, that's one thing. But if they mess with you just to be a dick, just to be an a-hole, yeah, those... I don't know if there's hope for the people like that, unfortunately. It's sad, but true. So yeah, that's CO's answer to the Rule Zero problem, which is why I want all cards unbanned. I do. And okay, I guess to make another stipulation, casual doesn't mean, hey, no one's gonna win this game, we're gonna just play dumb stuff forever. Casual just like means crazy, like chaotic, like holy cow, that's random. To me, at least. Hey, to me. Granted, my 3 pillars were casual in the sense of normal commander. Everyday normal commander is casual commander. I think that works better than with the stipulation that most people have nowadays, which they think casual means easy, which I guess I just did. So I'm going to apologize for that. I'm sorry. But casual should just mean normal. Y'all are casual, y'all are normal. Normies. Be normal. And then there's competitive, which has the obvious stipulation of we want to win. Winning is the point. We're not here to just play the game. We want to win. Whatever that means. And then the third category is chaos. I'm here to have fun. Winning is whatever. I'm here to play some cards and have some things happen that are just nuts. Just nanners. Does that mean I'll win turn 2? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll deck myself turn 2. I don't know. That's the whole point of chaos. Crazy. So I wish that was more of the thing. And I think that would be much easier for people to understand. Excuse me. Which is why the rules committee should have put me on the board. Y'all don't want to make these hard... I'll make the hard decisions. Send all the hate my way. That's right. I will eat your hate for breakfast. What's that? You know where I live? Awesome. I have video cameras and guns. Bring it. But yeah, so it's just, it is, I would say, for the worse. Even though, yeah, WOTC's going to print stuff that's nuts. Something I want to say about that, though, is, yes, you know what? WOTC could print the most craziest things. Like, turn 1, 0 mana artifact, I win the game. They would print it. And you know the dumb thing? The whole point of why this is like a problem that's not all WOTC's fault. People would buy it. People would play it. Yeah. So it's not all WOTC's fault. If the community truly hates overpowered cards, you know what they would do? Or they wouldn't do? They wouldn't buy packs. They wouldn't buy that product. They wouldn't use these cards. And as the rules committee was stating in the reasons for the bans, they started seeing these cards too much. So maybe that's just because the community wants to play these cards. They want broken cards. They want crazy cards. Even the casuals want these cards. They're also really pretty. So yeah, it's also our fault as players, okay? While the responsibility is mostly on WOTC, it is also on us. So if you're getting salty that people are playing more and more powerful things, that's just how the wind blows. I'm sorry. Not really. People are going to play with the most powerful cards because they exist. And they want them. And they're fun. And they're pretty. If you don't want people to do that, then make stipulations. say, hey, I play with pre-made decks. Like, do your best at Rule 0, but it's just gonna be around because people are gonna buy it. That's what the players want. However, I did make an interesting discovery when I was looking through cards. I'm actually going through my cards. I'm going to probably be selling off like half of my collection because I just have too many. Like, I don't, honestly, I have enough cards I can hold in my hands, which is very small compared to other people's collections, okay? But I still think it's too much. I don't play any other formats besides Commander. I do have some modern decks that are ancient, and I think some are actually illegal. But I just have I don't need all these cards. I've had all these cards for all my friends who would potentially play, and I say, hey, I have all these cards, you can make these decks, they're actually pretty good, and no one does it. They just buy a pre-constructed, buy their own their cards, and they're happy. And I'm fine, I'm glad, I'm happy, I'm so happy. They're playing the game, they like the game, they enjoy the game. I'm fine with that. But I no longer need to hold on to these cards for decks that I'm not going to build or play or whatever. And if I need that one card again, I will spend the dollar or whatever to get it again. Like, okay, I understand. If it's too expensive, I'll proxy it. I'm fine with that. But anyway, I'm going through my collection, and I noticed I had a proxy. What is it? Oh, it was just in my brain. Expropriate. I had a real one because I bought a couple of the Conspiracy. Do you guys remember Conspiracy? Conspiracy was the best thing. I love Conspiracy. Please bring Conspiracy back. It was the best drafting thing ever, okay? It was. Please bring Conspiracy back. I bought at least 2 boxes of Conspiracy, which absolutely paid for themselves, by the way. But I had so much fun playing Conspiracy, and I had an Expropriate. I did. I had a real one. And then, of course, I'm like, ooh, this is buku dollars. So I sold it because I don't keep anything that's too pricey. So I had a proxy one. And I'm sitting going, oh, I have an Expropriate. When the hell have I used this last? Which was never. I think I've casted it once ever. Ever. I just yoinked it out of my deck. So I'm like, man, I wonder how much this would be going for if it was real. You know? Because apparently Commander is getting way too powerful. And Expropriate's one of the most busted cards. You get a free turn plus 3 things of your opponents. While it's not like an unbeatable card by chance, but I mean, if it was a really powerful card, and maybe it's been printed a lot. To be fair, maybe it's been printed a lot. But as far as I know, it was still quite pricey, at least $20-something, maybe more. I went on TCG Player, and it's only $10. It's $10. Again, okay, maybe it's been printed a lot. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm just saying, if it's a must-have card, if it's such a broken card, because it kind of is, why isn't it more pricey? Well, I guess you could say it's because it's not CEDH broken. Like, you can play it in your early turns, hence why Dockside was so much. Because you can play it early. Expropriate's a really expensive card in the casting cost region, so... And of course, if you're going to do extra terms, you're going to do like Time Walk or something, one of those goofy stuffs. You're going to take one of those. But, so it's kind of like, well, yes, some cards are becoming more and more expensive to buy because so many people can use them. There's still some really powerful cards that people just don't use. So that's an interesting thing to see, like. And I know people like at the Command Zone, Josh Lee Kwai, and some other players of the format are like, yeah, we're just taking out Fast Mana. We're just taking out our tutors. We're just taking out things like Expropriate. Or things like Cyclonic Rift, even. It's just, yeah, that'll basically win you the game, but it's really boring. It's like a meh kind of win. I outvalued you hard. Woo! I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, which is possible. But I just thought it's surprising that I remember having Expropriate, and I think it's back when it only had like 1 printing, selling it for a decent chunk of money, and then getting a proxy, and then using it once and going, bleh. So, I thought that was just some interesting bit of information for sure. But yeah, who knows? Who knows what cards WOTC's going to print, allow, just say it's tier 4, get over it, and people are going to buy, and other people are going to be mad at because other people bought it. And as far as the financial stuff goes, I guess financial bros are happy about it, which again, I respect. I respect the Rudies out there that, you know, keep the prices what the market wants them to be at, that we have, you know, special cards are special for a reason, and that it has carried this game for 30 years now. As stupid as it's getting, as broken as it's getting, as expensive as it's getting, you know, they're part of this pie that makes the whole pie wheel work. They're part of this pizza. They're part of this tire. I don't know. Analogies, man. But yeah, they're part of the Magic Gathering fan club, even if all they care about is dollar signs. Shrug. So maybe they're happy about this. I'm sure Rudy will have a video and I'll watch it tomorrow at work. And then have more of a clear thought process on it. Oh yeah. So we'll see. I'm thinking not much is going to change. If they unban stuff, that would be sweet. I would love it. But I will also miss the RC, and it's just been a colossal mistake after colossal mistake. And now they can't make mistakes no more because they isekai themselves. And I do hope that those of the people in the committee and people around them, I hope they do find solace, though. They get the break they wanted. The responsibility is off their shoulders, and they can live their lives better now. I do hope so. Because, again, I really think it goes without fucking saying, but like, no one deserves that kind of harassment. It's a goddamn card game, guys. Like, seriously, chill out. I don't know. Like, I've had people do wrong to me. I've had people do quite wrong to me. And though to be fair, I don't have any traumas or anything, even though I probably should. People have done wrong to me, seriously wrong by sure. But I just don't have that burning passion to hate them, you know, to harass them, to wish death upon them. I just don't, okay? Any energy spent is a positive in some manner, whether it's for a negative cause or a positive one. And I'm sorry, especially someone who has done me wrong, I don't want to give them any of my energy. I'm sorry. Like, oh, you're that kind of person? Have a nice life. I'm going to delete you out of my head to the extent of, if I see you again, I know you're not a good person, and that's it. You will never come up in my memory data saves unless I intentionally get reminded of you. Like, I'm not thinking about you. I'm not talking about you. I could care less if you exist or not. I could literally care less. And I think that's at least the more adult way to deal with things. That's the more appropriate. Is basically, and forgive, sure, fine. I forgive you because, again, I just don't want to care. But I will not forget. And that in the sense of not forget you specifically, but just forget what happened, what you did. Okay, and it's not something I'm waking up and terrorizing about. Again, I don't think it's because I've had the worst of the worst happen to me, which, you know, knock on wood, I hope it never does. But everyone's going to have, you know, bullies. Everyone's going to have a-holes. Everyone's going to be cheated on. Everyone's going to have, you know, those moments in their lives. And I think the most appropriate way is to just, that fucking sucks, you're a dick, and get out of my life. Like, no matter who it is. And again, I understand certain things affect people differently. It's harder for other people to get over things, especially when it's like, wow, warranted. And I get it if, like, you live with this person or this person is intricately involved in your life on a constant basis. Like, obviously I don't envy that, but I do have empathy for it. Okay. But I am a bit of a nihilist when it comes to things like that. So for putting any effort into that kind of nonsense, even if it's warranted, even if it like people would agree with you, even if like everyone on the world liked that, I still find it just not okay. All right, like and maybe I changed my tune. I don't know. Maybe I need to think about it a bit harder. That's just how I feel right now. But anyway, I'm almost at the store. Thanks for watching. I don't know, myself. And yeah, y'all take care.